Hello, book lovers, and welcome to Book Talk Radio Club. My name is Claire Harris, and today I'm talking to Dr. Jim Fantauzzo. Dr. Fantauzzo is the president of Creative Training Solutions, an organisation of specialised management consultants, management trainers, and professional speakers. His book, On the Shoulders of Leaders, was published in 2016, and it has been said in a recent review that the approaches are related to business strategies and proven ideas that are the result of the author's experience as a management consultant, speaker, researcher, trainer, and corporate human resources professional in the real world of business. The information is rich with realistic ideas for clear judgment, selecting the right leadership behaviour, and capture the true essence of leadership. So hello Jim, first of all welcome and thank you for coming back on Book Talk Radio Club to talk about your book On the Shoulders of Leaders.
No, it's always a pleasure, Claire. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Why the title On the Shoulders of Leaders?
Well, after a great deal of thought and planning and research, I realized the entire contents of the book is about the importance of building teams that are efficient and effective, and teams are made up of people.
Sure.
So, I chose that title because it is the most appropriate that helps to define the scope of responsibilities of a leader. A leader supports and carries the team in all situations in order to be effective and satisfactorily complete the objectives. So, it's far-reaching in the sense of what a leader does: the planning, communication, problem-solving, meeting the needs of the team, giving life and meaning to the vision and mission statements, and so on and so forth. So I felt that title was very, very appropriate.
On the Shoulders of Leaders is a team-centered leadership book and can be a resource for anyone in a position of authority. What is a team-centered leadership book? What does that mean?
Well, what that means, it's the team. It's a far-reaching answer, really. Team members understand and support the leader's goals at all times. Team-centered leadership. The team has a genuine desire to work together in an effort to address and solve problems. I mean, the biggest responsibility any team has is to solve problems, and how they work together is critically important. There is visible respect among team members. They respect each other. They know how to agree to disagree without it becoming problematic. And team members constantly try to give breath and life to the organization's mission statement and vision statements. So it's far-reaching, and they know how to resolve conflict. They have team meetings that are effective. They have a sense of responsibility and respect for each of the team members, and that those are so many factors that make up a strong team.
Yeah.
So that's what team-centered means, really.
On your website, creativetrainingsolutions.net, you say lack of skills and experience may have a negative impact on the employees who are under the supervision of a particular manager. What are these particular skills that are needed to be a good manager?
Oh my. Well, trust is vital for all leaders to have. Without trust, they have no credibility. A leader should be a good teacher and communicator. A leader should be a good problem solver. A leader must know how to manage time well, and time management, use it effectively. They must have technical competence. In order to complete the objectives, they must have technical competence. Leaders should have a sense of humor, because that's important too, because they're working and leading people, and people enjoy having a sense of humor. A leader must understand the importance and knowledge of how to motivate employees. We get back to some of the behavioral science, and many leaders don't know how to do that.
Absolutely.
A leader should be open-minded and try to see the merit of other ideas. And, we call that in the business world brainstorming. And many leaders don't know how to do that. A leader is continuously seeking new procedures in an effort to improve the overall performance of the organization. But, all of those are key underpinnings to support trust. If a leader can't be trusted, Claire, they lose so much from their team. The team won't be cooperative, they won't believe in the leader, and so on and so forth.
Oh, so you just more or less answered the next question. I was going to say, so without these skills, there may be a negative impact on employees. So what kind of a negative impact are we talking about? Give me a couple of them.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
So without these skills of being a good manager, there may be a negative impact on employees. What kind of a negative impact are we talking about? Maybe you could give you just a couple of examples, please.
Well, I think probably the biggest one would be low morale. People are going to work because they need to work. Maybe they don't enjoy going to work. If they have financial and family responsibilities, they're going to go to work, but they're not going to enjoy it. So lack of morale will decline and suffer. Turnover, employees resigning will increase. The quality and productivity will definitely decline. The manager won't be respected. Self-esteem and motivation will also decline. And if this happens, the senior management should be sensitized to that, because as we both know, the recruiting process is very, very expensive to replace people.
Sure.
And not only that, but they're going to be losing all the knowledge. So, people resigning. So, what I've done in the past to try and correct that problem, we call it an employee attitude survey. And you go in with forms that are confidential, and the employees make out the form, they complete the form with regard to their concerns. So, but the biggest one is morale. Morale, if that declines, it's far-reaching. Very far-reaching.
Let's go through a few chapters of On the Shoulders of Leaders, and you can tell me what they're all about. So the voice of leadership. Now, what does that mean?
Well, the voice of leadership is very important with regard to building organizational relationships. That's very important. There's nothing more important than building bridges, relationships in all business cultures. Whether it's hospitality or healthcare or high tech or even academia, it's very, very important. So the voice of leadership should be sensitized to how do we increase morale? How do we increase credibility? How do we increase customer service? How can we improve upon that? How can we meet financial goals? How can we reduce employee turnover? How do we establish a win-win environment that will become more evident? How do we increase employees' beliefs and attitudes and behaviors to make them established part of the culture? So, how do we reward employees? How do we have an effective safety program? Senior management, if they start to sense these kinds of problems, they should go through a complete audit in the organization to see what areas they need to improve upon, because it doesn't get any more important than treating people well. And this is all part of it. And again, it takes a catalyst, really, to be able to do that, to avoid stagnation in any culture.
So let me just interrupt you there. Let's go on to because I think you've covered that beautifully. The importance of teamwork. What makes a good team in your view?
Well, team members understand and support the leader's goals. Can you hold on a minute? I'm sorry. Todd, I have to call you back. I'm sorry about that. My son was calling.
Yeah. What makes a good team?
Team members understand and support the leader's goals. The team has a genuine desire to work together in an effort to address and resolve problems. There's visible respect among the team members. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let's talk about the
Management.
let's talk about the clarity of leadership. What does that mean to you?
Quality of leadership?
No, clarity.
The clarity of leadership?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Clarity of leadership, oh my gosh, that's far-reaching too. Senior management is responsible for the vision and mission statements of an organization. There's trust, honesty, integrity, and honor within the culture. Building teams is a goal. Goals and objectives are realistic. They have a global focus as to where they want to take the organization. Ethics are important. Communication is extremely important regarding written, verbal, nonverbal, leadership thinking skills, customer service orientation, conducting effective meetings, coaching, counseling, employee involvement, implementing change effectively, open door policies.
It goes on a long way, doesn't it? I can see.
Oh, yes, it goes on and on. Conflict resolution skills and so on. So it's far-reaching, and again, if anyone has the desire to be a leader, they need to find ways to improve their skills. They need to find ways to add usefulness and to their background. They need to find ways to practice adding value to themselves, because leadership is not a dress rehearsal. It's important, and it's hard work. Definitely hard work.
Jim, tell me about the depository of truth. That sounds interesting. What is the depository of truth?
Well, again, I go back to some of the critical needs of leadership to cultivate is trust and integrity. Leaders today are partially defined by their ability to establish and build trust and integrity. And if they don't do that, they won't be believed. They won't be supported. Goals and objectives won't be met.
Absolutely.
So it really comes down to two words: trust and integrity. I mean, I've seen in my management consulting business, I've seen people that don't trust their leader, and they begin to talk about leaving because they just don't enjoy working for that person anymore.
Absolutely.
And leaving may be a transfer, it might be a resignation. So you never know.
On the Shoulders of Leaders is full of case studies. Why did you decide to use case studies?
Case studies are critically important, Claire, because they support the chapters, the entire chapters within the book. Case studies are like a blueprint of what to do and what not to do. They help give the reader of the book insight into the importance of the chapters. There's a duality between the case studies and the chapters. And I might add, too, the case studies are realistic. Through my research, many months and months and months of talking to different people in different organizations, I put this together, and no names of companies or people, of course, because it was important that people could refer to a case study, then refer to the chapter, or refer to the chapter to the case study.
Absolutely.
And the case studies comprise of hospitality, healthcare, high technology, and academia. So they're real world case studies.
Let's talk a bit about you now, Dr. Jim Fantauzzo, author and president of Creative Training Solutions. So what exactly is Creative Training Solutions?
Well, it's the definition warrants probably a 5-part answer. We're professional speakers, professional trainers, workshop coordinators, management consulting, and we travel many parts of the country as well as parts of Europe, to include Canada. So, we're out there to help people improve their success, their training through our training modules, and so on and so forth. So I started this way back when I was part of corporate America, and I concurrent with that, I went on to get more education, and I realized there was such a tremendous need to start this business, and quite frankly, it's worked very well for me personally.
You are recognised as one of the industry's finest speakers and seminar leaders in the areas of Christian leadership coaching, total quality management, management development and employee motivation programs. I noticed that you carry out some of these talks on cruise ships. That must be fun. I bet you've missed doing those during the pandemic. Will you be doing them again?
Oh, I do. It's always fun. Actually, I was on a ship about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Princess Cruise Line, the Enchanted Princess, which is in its inaugural voyage. But I was invited to give a talk on my book aboard ship, and it's always fun. It's always enjoyable to share that kind of knowledge with people, you know.
Sure. I'll just return briefly to your book by reading out an absolutely wonderful review for On the Shoulders of Leaders. Here it is. The approaches are related to business strategies and proven ideas that are the result of the author's experience and as a management consultant, speaker, researcher, trainer and corporate human resources professional in the real world of business. The information is rich with realistic ideas and approaches for clear judgment, selecting the right leadership behaviour and capture the true essence of leadership. That's a seriously great review, Jim. Lastly, where can Book Talk Radio Club's listeners purchase On the Shoulders of Leaders?
I'm sorry, Claire, say that again.
Where can Book Talk Radio Club's listeners purchase your book?
Oh, well, they can write to me directly. If I can give you my email.
Sure.
It's cts7349@msn.com. Or they can go to Amazon. Amazon is worldwide now. Amazon is carrying the book and supporting it. They can go to a bookstore and request the title by my name and so on. Any bookstore will get that for it because the distribution process is worldwide.
Fantastic.
And they can go to a Barnes and Noble. And so there are many options.
In other words, there's no excuse for not buying it.
No, there isn't. Not at all.
All right.
And if they contact me directly, I can work out the process where I can send them a signed copy. I'd be happy to do that.
That's wonderful. All right, well, thank you, Jim. That was just great. Please come back on Book Talk Radio Club again. I'd love to chat with you and hear more. In the meantime, good luck for the future, and thank you, everyone, for listening to Book Talk Radio Club. Lovely to speak to you, Jim.
Thank you, Claire. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, too. Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye now.